A very good morning to everyone. Today I, Shweta Rana, student teacher of Army Institute of Education Greater Noida, will be discussing topic genetically modified crop and food security from B.Ed course title Environmental Education. Genetically modified crops. In this, we will include what is genetically modified crops, process of genetic modification, genetically modified crops, and food security. Genetically modified crops has been perceived as a solution to the problem of reducing hunger by many, while some consider this technology would enhance the risk of food security. But before moving forward, what does the term genetics means? Genetics is the study of heredity in the general and of genes in particular. Genetics forms one of the central pillars of biology and overlaps with many other areas such as agriculture, medicine, and biotechnology. What is genetically modified crops? Also known as GMCs, GM crops, or biotech crops. These are plants used in agriculture, the DNA of which has been modified using genetic engineering method. Genetic modification refers to the process of bringing about changes in the section of gene which may affect the phenotype or expression of the gene product. After alteration, the organism produces the needed product newly coded by the gene section or expresses a needed character which is known as the phenotype, or the entire host gene section is replaced with the foreign gene. Some examples of genetically modified crops are Bt cotton, soya bean, golden rice, and many more. What is the process of genetically modification in plants? In genetically modification plants, it involves a technology that is inserting DNA into the genome of an organism. Here, genome is the genetic character of an organism or gene characters. To produce a GM plant, a new DNA is transferred into plant cells. Usually, the cells are then grown in tissue culture where they develop into plants. The seeds produced by these plants will inherit the new DNA. In the given diagram, you can see that here a bacteria is taken out, the DNA of bacteria is taken out and its extraction and isolation process is shown. After the extraction, cloning is done. In cloning, the foreign DNA is produced with the new DNA. Then the transformation is done and this DNA will be cultured, which is known as a tissue culture in a favorable conditions. It will produce seeds that will bring the plant and plant breeding will be done. What is genetically modified crops and food security? It helps in increase in food production, better food security, upliftment of farmers' status. How increase in food production help? Genetically modified crops could enhance the food production and improve the availability of food at global and local levels. In 2012, 170 million hectares, that is approx 12% of global land, was planted with GM crops like soybean, corn, cotton, and canola. The yield of food crops could be increased with the help of genetically modified technologies. Genetically modified crops tend to be more stable and more productive as they are more robust to abiotic and biotic stresses. Here, the abiotic stress include the weather conditions and biotic stress involves pests. The increased productivity of genetically modified crops help in reducing pressure on other food products and thus keeps their prices stable. Next is better food safety and food security. Genetically modified crops could improve the food safety and food security. These crops have new traits which are less risky than conventional plant breeding technologies. GM technology assists in breeding food crops with higher content of micronutrients. Example is golden rice with provitamin A in the grain. Genetically modified crops have not yet been commercialized and thus are reasonably priced. GM crops help in reducing nutritional deficiencies among the poor. GM crops have shown positive health effects also. Upliftment of economic and social status of farmers. Genetically modified crops would work as a boon to the small scale farmers who constitute around one half of undernourished population in developing countries worldwide. GM crops like Bacillus thuringiensis Bt provide resistance to important insect pests, especially to cotton bollworms. GM crops use less chemical pesticides. It also increases the overall production in farmers' field, where higher productivity leads to higher economic level, which help in uplifting the economic and social status of farmers. With this, I hope the given topic is clear. Thank you and have a good day.